Hey everybody, it's Jordan and Demi, and this is our Latin music special. We have two guests for you. First, we have Prince Royce, who is one of the biggest stars in Latin music. He just released a new album.
I had the pleasure of speaking to Valé. So we got some like skin routine, we got some tour updates. So get ready.
And I think this is a cool episode because Prince Royce is a huge star, a fellow New Yorker from the Bronx like yourself. And Valé is more on the rise. She's on tour with a big band right now, which she'll get into in the interview. So first, here's a Prince Royce interview, and after that will be Valé. What's up, guys? It's Jordan. I'm here in LA with Prince Royce.
Yeah.
Just dropped a new album, Eterno.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot to cover with this, but this kind of project is really fascinating to me because there's two components. There's what songs you're going to choose to adapt and then how to adapt them. So first, we'll do the first part. How did you choose which of these classic love songs would end up on the album?
I was just listening to a lot of music. I wanted a little pop, a little country, a little rock vibe, a little R&B vibe. And I think I was just going down the checklist of what were my favorite songs, what were the must-haves that I felt had to be there, and really just going little by little and seeing which ones felt good in the Spanish translation, just the flow of it and the meaning of it, and B, which ones actually fit in bachata. So I think if it felt like it was weird or if it was too forced, I'd be removing it.
Yeah, that's where I was going to bring up next is, translating the bachata sound into these songs. And I think the first track, A Dance in the Moonlight, is a great example of that because, first of all, the percussion's very bachata, but you have the guitar, it still has that bachata tone, but it's kind of like a little bit more like
Still kind of like
a little more rock guitar.
Yeah.
So what was the process like of actually adapting these? Did you have I'm sure you had like a team of producers and arrangers and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what was it like to actually transform these songs?
I think it's just like you just said, like it's keeping the essence of bachata and myself, but still with the sound of the original. And it was kind of it was way more fun yet challenging than I thought because obviously when I'm doing my original music, I could just do things that I want to do or change things. In this case, I couldn't so much. I had to kind of be true to the record. And some of these songs had a lot of key changes or they had like rock stuff that's normally not done in bachata. So it was fun just dissecting each thing and listening to each background vocal of the original one and recreating it and using sounds from that maybe gave it an analog vibe like back in the day. So I think it's really, as far as like a musician artistry or just like a music fan, it was really fun to kind of just bring that sound into bachata.
Why now? Why at this point in your career was this a good time to do this sort of Spanglish crossover type album?
Well, my first song was Stand By Me in Spanglish, and
Sure.
a lot of people always ask me, like, would you do it again? What song would it be? And I was always reluctant to do it. But then I sat at a meeting one time with Sony, and they were like, man, but that was so cool how you were able to bring different cultures together, different generations together, bringing that Spanglish. And I was like, man, like, it's true. Like, Stand By Me kind of represented this culture that I grew up in that was very Latin, Dominican, bachata in Spanish, but still very American, English, New Yorker, hip hop, R&B. And I think that with this music, I'm able to just kind of represent where I'm from. That was this Spanglish type of ideology and thinking and speaking, yet bringing generations together, yet like bringing back songs from an era that was like there was no auto tune. It was just very raw. It was very musical, and kind of bringing it to today's age. And I think that it felt kind of right because it's like a full circle moment. It's been a long time since I did it. And I just feel like people have been going into the vinyl. You go on Instagram nowadays, people are throwing in like VHS filters, people are buying digital cameras, people are, I think vinyls are on like the all-time high in sales. People are missing that memorabilia, that getting, physical album and CD and the music from back then that was just so amazing and beautiful. And I hope to bring those great memories to the people that do know the songs and create new ones for the fans that don't know this music yet.
We're kind of living in a golden age of Latin music right now. It kind of mirrors what happened in the early 2000s with the Latin explosion of Ricky Martin and
Shakira,
Shakira.
J-Lo.
But the difference now is that I don't feel like there's as much pressure for artists to do Spanglish or English language versions. Bad Bunny has top 10 hit right now in Spanish. So has that always been in the back of your mind? How have you kind of approached that idea of like, when do I do English language? When do I do Spanglish? Like, how has that kind of been in the back of your head all these years?
I think it just comes naturally. I think like when I'm ordering a sandwich at the deli, I'm not thinking if I'm gonna order in English or Spanish. It might just be both, or sometimes I don't know a word in English and I'll say it in Spanish. Yeah. So I think that's really how it is. It just depends also what type of song I'm doing. Like if I know I'm doing a collab or a song that's maybe more targeted to Latin America, maybe I'll keep it mostly Spanish. I'm not gonna say I don't pay attention to it, because I do a little bit, but I think I just do what comes natural. You know, there's songs that to me have a little bit of English on it, and it just came naturally. But in this case was truly, I was trying to really go for the 50-50 aspect of it.
You mentioned bodega. I gotta ask, as a New Yorker, what's your go-to bodega sandwich?
Chopped cheese.
Chopped cheese.
Chopped cheese.
Any special instructions?
No, I always just do it how they do it at that specific store, deli. Or another easy bacon, egg, and cheese. Love it.
Okay, so nothing weird.
Nothing with Philly cheesesteak.
Okay. I always did the cold cuts.
Cold cuts, yeah.
I did the roast beef. Spinach instead of lettuce, get some extra nutrition.
Okay. That's safe.
Yeah. So, gotta ask a real basic question: why bachata, and why did you choose? Because you grew up in New York, you could have gone Spanish language, go to English. So, why bachata?
Well, I thought that it was just a genre that really represented my culture, and I was just a big fan of it in general. And I feel like I could bring something different to the table. I could do something new. I think that it's very important in general as an artist. I always try to bring something new to the table, to the fans or to the market. And it just drew my attention. And at the time I was actually recording R&B in Spanish and like a little bit of reggaeton. And somebody was like, oh, but you should try singing bachata. And I was like, cool, great, let's do it. And then I just did it. That's how I kind of started.
It kind of reminds me of the Mark Anthony story,
He was the freestyle.
Yeah. And he was also New Yorker. And, when you got a chance to collab with him,
of course, yeah.
What was that experience like, meeting one of the OGs of the Latin crossover?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a great dude. He's very talented, amazing voice. And it's just like I get to record. I've met so many idols that are just idols and legendary, and they paved the way for me, and they paved the way for so many artists. And I just think it's just an honor to really collab with people like Mark, and so many other people like Shakira, like J-Lo. I mean, Mana. That was a truly legendary, moment. I've recorded with so many people, Daddy Yankee, that I've really admired, and I was truly, genuinely a fan of theirs before being famous. So when I do these collaborations, I really try to just soak up the moment, learn from them, and I'm just grateful.
Now, I'm assuming, are you a Yankees fan?
Yankee fan, yes.
Yankee. So, what Aaron Judge is doing right now, crazy. Do you have any predictions for the season?
Let's go Yankees, man. We're seeing the heat that Juan Soto's been facing now as well with the Mets.
Yeah. What was your reaction to Juan Soto going to the Mets?
I mean, always anybody that leaves the Yankees is always a bummer, obviously. Yeah. For me, at least, coming from the Bronx and the Yankees. But, we always hyped up. Knicks are killing it right now, too.
Yeah.
I think it's just a great moment for New York in sports. But, yeah, obviously, whenever someone leaves your team, you get bummed out. Yeah. It's just natural.
Yeah. Are you Giants or Jets?
Jets.
Jets. Okay.
Jets,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's put it on that spot. Let's go. Honestly, but, at the end of the day, like, let's say, at the end of the day, I'll go for New York. Obviously, I'm going for Yankees,
sure.
Jets.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's New York at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if I got to root for another New York team, if the Yankees don't win, then I'm good.
Right. I lived in New York for several years. The one thing I learned is that people who make it big in New York, there's a big tradition of giving back to the community, of giving back to New York. I think of people like Fat Joe, just walks around. He's like the mayor of New York, So how would you describe the love that New York has given you back? And can you walk down the street anywhere without just being mobbed?
I go to New York often. They did this mural of mine and with my picture on in Patterson Projects, 140.
That's when you made it, when you get a mural.
Yeah, so I go there. We went there last week. We got some chopped cheese actually there. They named Prince Royce Day in August, which I think that was an honor. And yeah, I go back. I actually feel very comfortable in New York. Some cities that I don't really go out just because I don't know, but in New York specifically, I know the areas, I know the places I can go to, I know the places that I'm good at, that I'll be good at, So, I mean, not that I'm like won't be good somewhere else, but I'm just comfortable in certain.
It's your home.
Yeah, I'm comfortable there, so I go out a lot over there.
You're big into giving back to the community. Can you talk about some of your charity and some of the stuff you've done?
Well, we worked stuff with the John Legend Foundation, for example. We wrote a song with my old school, Bronx Academy of Letters. So that was cool, kind of being with the kids of my old school and writing a song. They got school buses that do music. So I'm always looking, to work with like hospitals and stuff like that. So hopefully we could do more.
Big summer coming up, I'm assuming. Is there a tour? What's the summer look like?
Well, I'm gonna go to Europe in July, and hopefully there'll be a tour announcement this year. So
okay,
we'll
I
be
gotta
hitting the road.
tease it. That's
yeah.
that's part of
Hopefully
this
there'll be a
thing.
tour this year before the end of the year. Keep it locked. PrinceRoyce.com. So yeah, right now we're just doing like a lot of promotion.
I gotta ask, but that cover's so dope. The cover photo, it's right over your shoulder there. Who took it? Whose idea was that?
I actually wanted something. I've been wanting to do something for a while where it's not just a portrait of me.
Yeah.
So recently I've been trying to go a little more artsy vibe. We got the clock there, the tape, kind of just a representation of time. The tape is actually like over like my neck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of wanted to give it like a timeless kind of thing, or transport to like the times where they're like tapes and stuff.
Well, it has kind of a punchy '90s vibe. I'm a photographer, video guy, so I'm like looking at that. Yeah, that's awesome. That's dope. Yeah, I was going through your discography and I saw like the cover of your first album. You got like the Neo fedora on.
Yeah, the fedora on. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel? Does that era? Is that cringy to you now, or do you like? How do you look back at the late 2000s Prince Royce?
I wouldn't say cringy, but back in the day it was like that. I was seeing like I was. That was also another thing I was doing. I was looking at like Lionel Richie's covers, Michael Jackson's covers.
Lounge,
I was looking, yeah, and it said something like the lower the what would it say?
The bigger the lean.
Yeah, the bigger the lean, the bigger the record, and you see like all these guys like
Lionel Richie,
the bars. So it's like
Yeah.
definitely, I think it's good to look back and you laugh at. I'll look back at some of my outfits and laugh at them, or some of the things that I
But if
wore.
you can't laugh at them, you weren't trying hard enough back in the day. You got to take
100%,
risks.
100%. You got to take risks in anything you do, music, entertainment, and it's all part of the journey. So.
And you got this dope like sweater outfit going on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A little collar.
Yeah.
Might go play golf right now.
Right. Yeah, you're ready to go. Last thing, time capsule stuff. What are you listening to right now? What artists, current artists, new artists are you into right now? What are you vibing to?
A little bit of everything. I mean, I'm liking that Drake Party Next Door album. I like Bad Bunny's new release. I've been listening to a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I've been listening to a lot of old school music right now, just because of, at nighttime I throw in like a playlist of jazz recently. It's very relaxing.
Good to clear your head.
Yeah, it's chill, and I've been doing that. Deep house, I like deep house too. I'll throw in like a random playlist of like house music. Yeah.
And finally, what are you watching? What's on your streaming?
What am I watching? I binged that Squid Games, waiting for the third one now. I need to watch The Last of Us 2. I'm a big video game fan.
You're a bit okay.
Yeah.
You Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always been Xbox, but I PlayStation 5. GTA 6, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, Fallout. If you haven't seen the Fallout series, which is also based on a video game, season 2 is about to come out, so I want to check that out.
Which favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time? Maybe Zelda.
Which Zelda?
Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe Zelda as a whole, but I'm a big fan of all.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts was fire back in the day.
Okay, so you like little JRPG kind of style to it.
Red Dead Redemption. I played every Assassin's Creed.
Are you good?
I'm pretty good.
Oh.
Like on Call of Duty, I have all the last skins. On the last 3 Call of Duties, I got the Orion skins, which is a big deal if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about because I'm not a
So in Call of Duty multiplayer, you get skins. So first you get all the guns gold, then you get them platinum, then you get them like a special thing, then you get the last one.
It's like a ranking.
It's a ranking, and it's a colorful skin. But the way you get them is you have to do challenges with every single gun in the game. So rockets, knives, everything. You gotta get 100 headshots. So when you get the skin, that means you've mastered every single gun, and usually there's like 30 to 50 guns. So.
Okay.
So it just means that I could just beat you with any gun.
I will put this on TikTok and people will be like, I know exactly what
They know exactly. Orion, Damascus, we got it.
Okay, all right, man. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
brother. Appreciate
Congrats
you.
on the album.
Thank you, man.
Valé,
Hi,
how are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm all right. I was actually just listening to your new single that just came out in May.
Oh, really?
Let's start there.
Yes. So Vueltas is the name of my new single. It came out, yeah, like 2 weeks ago. That song was made in Colombia, in my home in Barranquilla, with the fund. Um, we actually spent like a whole week there just writing, and I got really, really sick for whatever reason. And that was like my last resort of like, I'm gonna give some sort of effort into this track. And I had the idea of the like that part somewhere deep in my brain, and I just told one of the fun guys like, just don't ask questions and try and do this, match this as well as you can, because I'm so sick I can't even hold my head up right now.
No
We
way.
started with the choppy part, and then the song took a long time to write. Honestly, it was like 9 to 10 months. It was just a lot of moving parts around and figuring out what was right, because when I feel like when you have a song that has like that cool choppy
Mhm.
element to it, then you have to write melodies that go perfectly with that energy. So it took a while to figure out, but I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. And yeah, the song is pretty much just about like a toxic relationship, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of situation, because the title is Vueltas, which means like going in circles. It's kind of that like vicious cycle of, we're good, then we're not good, then we're great, then we're in the trenches in a relationship.
I mean, I was so excited to talk to you about like genre because
Hmm.
it's like Latin pop, like because of this song, actually, because there were so many twists.
Yeah.
Latin pop, but like with a twist. And that's how I would describe like your genre.
Yeah, I agree. Every time anyone's like, what do you do? What do you sing? I'm like, well, some days it's this, some days it's that, but ultimately it's definitely Latin pop. But with this song, we kind of went like a little rock with it.
The guitar at the end, yes.
Yeah, it went like a little metal in the end. I was very pleasantly surprised, but I always love to like bend the genres and break the boxes and do anything that I can in that way, because I like to keep stuff interesting, especially live. Now that we played it live once, we're doing it again,
That had like a
but it sounded sick live. Like I feel like it's the arrangement is great for live shows, so I'm really stoked about that as well.
you're on tour with the Driver era.
Yes,
And
I
I
am.
think what is Ross like versus what he was like on Disney Channel?
I mean, it's just really surreal to be on tour with someone you grew up watching on TV. Like I legit loved Austin and Ally. I would watch it religiously. He's really dope. He's just a regular dude. So he's the nicest guy. Rocky's so sweet. Like both of them are just very welcoming. Their entire team is a dream to work with, really. And just them having me back on the road and sharing their stage with me, I think says a lot about who they are as people. Really, they're very kind. But it's really fun. This time we're on a tour bus. Last time we were on a van. And it's a big difference. Honestly, sleeping on the tour bus is kind of trippy because, you're just laying and you feel like something pulling you, and it's kind of strange, but it's fun.
What is Valé like post show? Is she hitting the tour bus right away or is she going out with the boys partying?
So, I mean, post show, I do a meet and greet, so I have to keep the vibes up for that. But after the meet and greet, watch me out, dude. I have my little makeup removing stuff. I do my whole skincare. I'm like, all right, time for bed right now. It's a lot. It's a lot of hassle. So I feel like last tour we went out more. I mean, it's only getting started. You never know.
Mhm. Now
It's
you're on business. You're like, all right, we know this.
exactly. But I mean, for now, definitely I'll go to bed.
What is your skincare routine? Speaking of skincare, like what are you using right now?
So I use oil cleansing has been a new addition
Really?
routine. So helps me remove makeup and like all sorts of weird sweat, anything in my little pores. Then I cleanse with a regular soap. Then I just use like a Korean toner and vitamin B3 and a glow serum and moisturizer. That's nighttime. During the day, it's just toner, the ordinary niacinamide, uh, moisturizer, sunscreen. Minimal. We keep that stuff minimal, you know?
I wanna, for people who don't know the full story,
Mm-hmm.
let's kind of take it back to where it started. Like
Yes.
you're a young girl and your interest in music sparks. Like where were you? What was going on?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've always been interested in entertainment of some sorts. When I was like, I think I was 6 till 10 years old, I was in my school choir, elementary school choir. I don't know why, but I was interested in it and I just kept it going. And um, yeah, I feel like I was seriously interested in it when I was 15, when I visited Sammy, my cousin who you know, in LA, and he's been in music his whole life, and he just kind of opened some doors and I started doing some sessions, and since the first session I did in October of 2018, I haven't stopped. So, I guess I liked it. It stuck. But yeah, it's been something I've always been passionate for, and I just always had that kind of personality where I liked, you know, not being the center of attention, but also perhaps just a touch of that. But yeah, I liked entertaining my family, let's say.
Where, speaking of family, like where were you born? Like what was it like growing up for you?
I was born and raised in Barranquilla, Colombia, and that is a beautiful place. I mean, not the biggest city, but it's also not a super small town. So like, it's beautiful, it's hot, it's humid and very musical. The people are very sweet there. I visit as much as I can because my entire family still lives there. I'm the only one that's abroad. But it's a great city. That's where Shakir's from.
Get out.
Sarah.
Stop. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who are your influences? Like currently, but also growing up, who were your influences?
I mean, when I was little, I used to love Hannah Montana. As we all do, obviously. I mean, I remember, in High School Musical, I was obsessed
Oh
with
wow.
High School Musical. I had a birthday party where I dressed up as Gabriella and I actually performed in that birthday party. I had to have been like
Wow.
6, dude. I was super young and I had two of my best friends perform like a High School Musical song, but it had choreography and everything. Like it was a whole setup for this birthday party with just like little girls. It was really funny, but like I loved those two artistic women figures in my life. Like Sharpay, loved her. Gabriella, loved her. Hannah Montana, obviously, she was my girl. But now, like, my musical influences are definitely like Rosalia, Kali Uchis. I love SZA. I love Doja Cat. I love Charlie XCX, of course. Um, yeah, I would say that's kind of where I would live. Paco and Catriel, of course, are amazing. Like that's kind of the box I would put myself in with those amazing artists.
What would be I know who I would want to see you collab with. I'm like I see it already and I would say Rosalia. Like I could
Same.
see,
That's
right?
a dream collab.
Okay,
Dream
who's your
collab. Holy
bridge?
shit, I would die. I would die. For sure.
Could you imagine just like I feel like your styles would be sick together.
Of course, it would be the perfect match. But we'll see. I mean, God willing, knock on wood, it happens. But that's totally like one of my top, if not my top dream collab for sure.
Well, I'm not sure if this is news yet, but well, I'm assuming, let's just say that you're working on a project as you probably always are.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I'm working on a unique style of projects, so I'm doing like 3 bundles of 3 songs. So I'm just kind of like, because I dropped the EP in August of last year, and then I didn't drop anything else for the entirety of the year until Vueltas. So I'm trying to restart the engine, and I'm just going to be doing like a few singles and then pairing them up into 3. And then hopefully next year I'll have a second EP ready for everybody,
yeah,
which, that also takes time. I'm sure you know how long a project takes to make from inception to here's the final
well, you got
master.
to be inspired to write, no?
I know that is also true. So I haven't been in the studio as much as I want, but I brought all my recording stuff on the road. So maybe we'll make some road songs, which I have never done before. So that could be a cool thing.
What are the new tracks sounding like? Is it something that we can expect, or is it a little bit unexpected?
Honestly, the next single is very unexpected. It's like really intense.
Oh, wow.
Like sonically, you're gonna be like, "Whoa, okay." It's maybe gonna take a few listens for you to like warm up to it, but once you do, it's really fun. And then the third one that's coming out in July, I'm performing it on tour. It's called Cold Blooded. It's really, really fun. It's just like a cool little like vibe. Um, but I would say that the next songs that are coming out in general are Under the Sun, matured, different take on some of those tracks. Just kind of playing around, honestly. Like I'm in an era of my life where I just came from having so many restrictions and being put in so many boxes that I'm just wanting to try many things and seeing what sticks with the audience as well and myself. So, the people that truly matter, what do you guys think? What do you want me to keep putting out? And I'm kind of just taking it that way because, you know, that's again what matters.
Also, you're a growing young lady that, probably has a lot of new stories to tell. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
this is a very exciting era.
It's an era of change, that's for sure. I mean, I'm about to turn 22 in a week, which is really exciting. And yeah, I mean, who can yap more than a 22-year-old girl?
Well, Vala, thank you so much for coming on the show, taking the
Yeah,
time.
thank you so
Mid-
much for having me. This is such a fun little convo.
All right, so those were our interviews with Prince Royce and Valé. I'm white, and your name. You're from Puerto Rico, so I. It's funny. It's funny for someone like me, a white Midwesterner, to kind of host a Latin music special. So
One thing I think that Latin musicians do and artists do that are really like you look at it and you say, wow, this group of artists really represents where they come from more than any other group of artists. I think they stand strong behind their flag, or they want to bring noise and attention to their countries. So it's pretty cool.
So that'll be it for us, guys. Thank you for watching our Latin music special. Next week, we got a big one, Demi. It's our 200th episode with a legend of alt rock, Nick Hexum of 311. So be sure to watch that. Until next time, we'll see you later.